Hello everyone, it is blocking day. So if your shawl is looking a little funky at this point, that's okay. This is a crescent shaped shawl and they always need a good deal of pretty aggressive blocking due to us needing to change this shape here into a curve going the other way. And then we're also going to open up all this lace and spread out the picot edge. So first thing we're going to do is soak it in a bath with either eucalyptus or soak, assuming that your shawl is made out of wool or some type of protein animal fiber. And then we'll be back and I'll show you guys how to block it. And the one thing you really need for this is either blocking wires so we can get the appropriate curve on the bottom, or the type of blocking pins that have several pins in one bar. But blocking wires I really feel are the best for this. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have soaked the shawl. I ran it through my spinner to get out as much water as possible. You can also roll it in a towel and walk on it gently. You just want to get out as much water as possible. And then I used 4 of these wires. And the easiest way I found to do this is just lay a towel across my lap and sit somewhere comfortable and weave the wires through. And I always like to leave quite a bit of wire on either side so that I don't run the risk of it coming out. So I have 4 running across here. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm spreading out my shawl and I want to create a straight line or even have a little bit of a curve to it like this, which gives it its crescent. What you don't want to do at this point is stretch it so much that it's gonna impede how far you can pull it out, because I really want to increase the depth of this shawl by pulling this out. So I will, there's going to be a schematic in the pattern, but what I'm going to do now is take my pins and put pins along here, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Okay, so every time I block a shawl, depending on the shawl, I do it a little bit differently. But what I did here is I pinned down from the 3rd section through the 3rd section on this side. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start stretching the lace out just as if this was just a mini shawl right here. And I am gonna put some pins in here to hold that in place. Okay, so here's what that looks like. And don't be afraid to really stretch this and open up this lace. Now you can see how it's buckling here, but as I stretch it out, as I do more blocking, it will be okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is do the same thing, go out a few more sections and put a few more pins in. Okay, so what I wanna do, or what I've decided to do, and like I said, every shawl is different, so you really have to work with it as you go. So I've added a few more pins on either side. And what I want to work on right now is bringing this depth out. And I have decided, even though it's going to be a pain, that I am going to run wires all along this curve here. And I am going to start by putting a wire in right here and pinning it down, so that will determine the depth of my shawl. Okay, so this is where we are right now. I have put 1, 2, 3 wires curved around the top, and so I've really pulled out all of the lace. Don't worry if this isn't perfectly straight, because once we get it all pulled out, we will go back and make sure that this is really nice and straight and that none of our picots are stuck under the wires or anything like that. So I am going to put wires. I'm going to pin down this wire, put additional wire here, in one over there, and I'll straighten everything out and then show you the finished blocking. Hey everyone, so here is the shawl all blocked out. I ended up using wires, 5 wires across the top, 4 across the bottom. When I got done making everything as even as I possibly could, and I'm a little bit anal about that, I went around and pulled out all the little picots as best I could to make sure that they're not stuck or being stretched the wrong way or anything like that. So again, when you're talking about a crescent shawl, this isn't like a triangle shawl. Triangle shawls, some of them don't even need to be blocked. A lot of them we block that have lace, but they block very easily because they're already in the shape being blocked. A crescent shawl is typically, when you knit it, you get that weird little V here, and it has to all be stretched out. This is super aggressively blocked. At the end, I actually came back and even stretched the center a little bit more because my mesh up there was much thinner than it was over here. So I really wanted to stretch it as much as I could. This shawl will relax over the next month when I take it out. But if you start with this really aggressive blocking, it really helps you obtain a very beautiful piece. And for this one in particular, I really feel that you need the wires to get the best possible result. So if you don't have blocking wires, grab yourself some, a set of T-pins, and possibly a movie and a beverage, because it takes a good hour at least, hour and 15 minutes to get this thing all set out like this. But it is well worth it in the end. You put a lot of time into knitting it. You might as well put the few extra minutes into blocking it. If you need any help, you can always reach me at fibermethis@gmail.com.